Hello students, welcome to you on my YouTube channel Pawan Agnihotri Physics Maths classes. Today I am going to begin part B of chapter 4 class 10th physics. It is refraction of light through a prism. But before starting to that, first you know what is prism. So here I have made, though since I don't have the prism here, so I have prepared a prism. This is a prism. It is a prism is a transparent optical medium. Though here it is not transparent, but it is made up of glass. Prism is a transparent optical medium bounded by three rectangular faces. You can see here. Here this is one rectangular face. This is the one rectangular face. This is the another rectangular face. It's clear? Then this is the third rectangular face. So it is bounded by three rectangular faces and two triangular. One triangular face is this and the another triangular face is this. So what is prism? It is a transparent optical medium bounded by three rectangular faces and two triangular faces. Rectangular faces acts as the refracting surfaces. Acts as the refracting surfaces means what will happen? At a time, two rectangular faces will work as the refracting faces. Suppose light get enters from this face inside the prism. Then it will come out from this face. It will come out from this face. So one refracting face is this, where light goes from air to glass, and the other is this, where light comes out from glass to air. It's clear? So prism is a transparent optical medium bounded by three rectangular faces and two triangular faces. Rectangular faces works as the refracting surfaces. Means the light ray will enter in the prism, inside the prism, through these rectangular faces, or it will come out from these rectangular faces. It is clear? The line along which any two refracting faces meet is known as the edge of the prism. It's known as the edge of the prism. Edge of the prism means EDGE, this thing. The line along which two rectangular faces meet is known as the edge of the prism. So you can see here, one refracting face is this, another refracting face is this. Both the surfaces are meeting along this line, therefore it is the edge of the prism. It's clear? This is known as edge of the prism. It's clear? Similarly here, one refracting face is this, other is this. They are meeting along this line, therefore it is the edge of the prism. It's clear? Then this is the third edge. It is clear? Now the angle between any two refracting faces. Angle between any two refracting faces, suppose one refracting face is this, other is this. So what will be the angle? It will be this angle. This will be the refracting angle. It is known as the angle of prism. It is known as the angle of prism. If you see here, if light enters from this face and it comes out from this face, what will be the refracting angle? This angle. Angle between the refracting surfaces is known as refracting angle. It's known as angle of prism, denoted by the symbol capital A. What is the refracting edge? It is the line along which the refracting surfaces meet. One refracting surface is this, other is this. They are meeting along this line, so this is the refracting edge. Now see here, what is the function of these triangular faces? One of the triangular face acts as the base of the prism. It acts as the base of the prism, means when you will place the prism, so it will be placed in this way. Suppose this is a cardboard, it will be kept in this way. It's clear? It will not be kept in this way. It will be kept in this way. When it is in the working procedure, you will keep the prism in this way. Light ray will enter from one face and it will come out from the other face. Then there is one principal section of the prism. Principal section of the prism. Principal section of the prism. So it is that surface which is perpendicular to the refracting edge. Refracting edge is this surface which is perpendicular to the refracting edge, which is triangular in the shape. It's called the principal section of the prism. It's clear? Now here this prism is the equilateral prism. Here if you see, all the angles are of 60 degree, 60 degree and 60 degree. It's clear? This triangular face, it is having all the angles equal, but it is not necessary that in every prism all these three angles will be of 60 degree. They may be of different degrees also. Here I have drawn the principal section of one prism. It's clear? Here this is 90 degree, means the angle between two refracting faces is 90 degree. In between the other two it is 30 degree, and in between these two it is 60 degree. It's clear? So different, they may be of different shapes, but all the prism will have three rectangular faces, two triangular faces. Rectangular faces works at the refracting surfaces. The line along which refracting surfaces meet is known as the refracting edge. It's known as the edge of the prism, refracting edge. And the angle between two refracting faces is known as the angle of prism. It's known as the refracting angle, which is denoted by the symbol capital E. What is the function of the triangular part? This triangular part acts as the base of the prism. It acts as the base of the prism. Angle between these two refracting faces is known as the angle of prism. It's known as the refracting angle. Now today I will tell you, now you see how refraction takes place through a rectangular, through a glass prism. So you can see here, refraction through a glass prism. It's clear? So you can see. This is a principal section of the prism, because you will make principal section. You can see here, when you will keep it here, what will happen? Light enters through this part, it comes out from this part. Means this is the triangular part. It is clear? So you will make the principal section. It is clear? Now you can see here this is the angle of prism. Here we have taken one refracting face AB, other refracting face BC. One refracting face AB, other edge BC. Means light enters through this and comes out from here. It enters through this and comes out from the other. Now see here, this is a ray of light which falls here. It falls obliquely here. This is a ray of light. Now what will be the normal at this point? Here I am using the same symbol which are in your book. It is OPQR. Yes. So if you draw the normal, yes, this is the one. What will be the normal here? So see here, this is the incident range OP. Incident range OP. This you can write here OP. What is the point of incidence? Point of incidence is P. So you draw the normal at the point P. Normal at the point P, and this will be normal to the AB, perpendicular to the AB. This is the normal. You can see here. Here, what is the angle of incidence? So, angle of incidence, if you see, then this will be the angle of incidence. It's clear? This is the angle of incidence I. What is the original direction of incident ray? If you see the original direction of incident ray, it will be this. Means if there is same medium in either side of the surface AB, same medium, then it would have gone along this direction. But now there is a change of medium. It is going from air to glass. So what will happen? It will bend towards the normal, bending towards the normal, and goes along this. It will go straight because within the prim, inside the prim, medium is same. So it will go straight line. It will bend and then go straight line. It is clear. This is the angle of refraction. This ray is the refracted ray. This point you can name as Q. It's clear. Now this point you can name as Q. Now you draw the normal at the point Q. What will be the normal at the point Q? So you can say here, when you will draw normal at the point Q, and it will be normal to the AC. It will be normal to the AC. So see here. Now you can see here, we have denoted this angle as small r, R1. This angle as R1. It's clear. Now what will be this angle? We have taken this as R2. R2 is the angle of incidence at the surface AC when ray of light is going from where to where? Glass to air. Glass to air. Now see here, it is going from glass to air, means denser to rarer. So what will happen? It will bend away from the normal, means it will go in this direction. It will go in this direction. This means what will be the emergent ray? This will be the direction of emergent ray. You can see here. This is the direction of emergent ray. It's clear. Now you can see here. Here, if you see, then it is how much deviated from the origin. So it had deviated from the original direction by this angle. That I am going to, as you know that this is the original direction. This one is the original direction. If there was no prim, then it would have gone along this direction, along the OA. But on placing the prim, what has happened? It is emerging out in this direction. It's clear. So it had deviated by how much angle? It had deviated by this angle. Means this is the angle of deviation. This angle is angle of deviation that you can see. It's clear. Now you can see one more thing. If we see here, then what is the deviation produced in this ray? In the incident ray. Incident ray is making angle of incidence I1. When it enters into the glass slab, what is angle of refraction? It is R1. You can see here, this is R1. Here, it is R1. It's clear. This angle is angle R1. So it had deviated by how much angle? In the absence of this phase, it would have gone along the dotted direction. But on placing the prim, what has happened? It is going in this direction, means it had deviated by this angle. This is the angle of deviation on the first surface. Del 1 is what? Del 1 is the angle of deviation on the first surface. It's clear. Now here, what will be on this surface? It means what angle of incidence? R2 on the surface AC. This is intended to go from glass to air. What is angle of incidence? R2. In the absence of this phase AC, it would have gone along this direction. Along this direction. But now it is going in what direction? This. So how much is the deviation? So deviation will be equal to, if we make here, this is the original direction. So what will be the deviation? Deviation will be equal to this angle. It's clear. Now see here, this angle is R2, therefore this will also be equal to R2. Why? Vertical opposite angles. So this is R2. This whole angle is I2. So what will be this? This will be I2 minus R2. Now this angle will be equal to this. So this we simply denote by del 2. It's clear. No need to make this here. It is not required at your level. So you can see here, del 2 is the angle of deviation. This is del 2. Here I am writing. This angle, this is the del 2. So in this triangle, in triangle MPQ, del will be equal to what? Del 1 plus del 2. Del equals to del 1 plus del 2. Del is the total angle of deviation. Del 1 angle of deviation on the first surface AB. Del 2 angle of deviation on the second surface AC. Here you can write I1 is what? Angle of incidence. Incidence on first surface. Here first surface is AB. R1 angle of refraction on first surface. It's clear. If we see del 1 equals to what? Angle of deviation on first surface, and this is here equals to I1 minus R1. Okay. That will be I1 minus R1. This angle will be equal to del 1, it will be equal to I1 minus R1. Why? Because this whole angle is I1. This is I1 and this is R1, so I1 minus R1. Now R2, this is angle of incidence on second surface AC. I2, it is angle of refraction on second surface. You can see I2 is the angle of refraction on the second surface AC. And this we also call as angle of emergence. Emergence. This is also called as angle of emergence. It's clear. Del is what? Del 2, angle of deviation on second surface, and what will be equal to I2 minus R2. Which means then del is what? It is the total angle of deviation. Now there are some relations. One relation is this: del equals to del 1 plus del 2. When you will substitute I1 minus R1 plus I2 minus R2, so you can rewrite del equals to I1 plus I2 minus R1 plus R2. Which clear? Now this is one relation. This is very important. These relations are important. How you have reached at this relation, that is not in your course. Derivation is not in your course. And then there is one more, angle of refracting angle A. A is what? Refracting angle. A is refracting angle. So angle, refracting angle means angle between both refracting faces. Refracting faces. That is known as the refracting angle. So here angle A is equal to R1 plus R2. It's clear this. Now here you can see, here we call BCH the base of the prism. Base of prism. You can see here, when ray emerges out in the other side of the prism, what happens? It is bending towards the base of the prism. When the ray emerges out in the other side of the prism, it bends away from towards the base of the prism. Bending towards the base of the prism. It's clear? Now see here, angle of deviation. How will you define angle of deviation? So you can see here, angle of deviation is, it is the angle which emergent ray. This one is the emergent ray. One more thing, OP is incident ray, PQ is refracted ray, QR is emergent ray. It is incident ray, PQ which is inside the prism, that is the refracted ray. It is refracted ray, and QR is emergent ray. Now you can see here, what is the angle of deviation del? Angle of deviation del, it is the angle LMR. It is the angle which emergent ray makes from the original direction of incident ray. This is the original direction of incident ray. Original direction of incident ray. So you can see here, what is this? You can see. So what is the angle of deviation? It is the angle which emergent ray makes from the original direction of incident ray. It is the angle which emergent ray makes, this MR is making from the original direction. That angle is known as the angle of deviation. What is the angle of deviation? It is the angle which emergent ray makes from the original direction of incident ray. That is known as the angle of deviation. Now today we will see what are the factors on which the angle of deviation depends. Factors on which angle of deviation depends. So first factor is refractive index of material of prism. As we know that refractive index is the measure of bending. Measure of bending means more the refractive index, more will be the bending, means more will be the deviation, means more will be the angle of deviation, more will be the angle of deviation, means greater refractive index. Refractive index is represented by the symbol mu. Then greater will be angle of deviation. Then second factor is angle of prism. Angle of prism, that is known as refracting angle. Refracting angle means angle between both the refracting faces. One refracting face is AB, other is AC. It's clear? So more the angle of prism, more will be the angle of deviation. More the angle of prism, more will be angle of deviation. Angle of deviation will be more. Number 3, it depends upon the wavelength of light. So you can see here these are the prominent colors, VIGOR, VIGOR. It's clear. What is the wavelength of violet color? Wavelength of violet color 4000 angstrom. 1 angstrom equals to 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Its wavelength is 8,000 angstrom. When you will move from violet to red, what happens? Wavelength is represented by which symbol? Lambda. Lambda increases. Lambda increases. It's clear? Now see here, there is a relationship I am writing in here. It's clear? There is a relationship, you can see here, relationship between refractive index mu. It is inversely proportional to lambda. At present you know only this one. More the lambda, less will be the refractive index. And less the refractive index, so less. So del R is greater than del violet. Not del R. Lambda. Lambda for red color we have seen that it is 8,000 angstrom, and for violet color it is 4,000 angstrom. So lambda for red color is more and lambda for violet color is less. So what will be? Here we can see that del for red color will not del for red color, mu for red color will be less than mu for violet color. And why? Because just now I am told that what is the relationship between refractive index and wavelength? Refractive index mu is inversely proportional to the wavelength lambda. More the lambda, less will be mu. Now refractive index depends upon mu. More mu, more will be the angle of deviation. It's clear? The angle of deviation depends upon the refractive index. Angle of deviation depends upon the refractive index. So more mu, more will be the angle of deviation. So here mu is more for violet color, therefore for red color angle of deviation will be less, and for violet it will be more. Red color ray of light will deviate by smaller angle, and for violet color for the same angle of incidence will deviate by greater angle. Suppose if the incident ray is of white color, then here it is of monochromatic light. Monochromatic means single color. Single color means single beam. Suppose if it is the polychromatic light, it is the white light. As we know that white light is the composition of 7 prominent colors. White light is the composition of 7 prominent colors. So if this is the white light, then here emergent rays will be of different color. It's clear? Vibgure, one is of violet, one is of indigo. Which will deviate most? Violet will deviate most and red will deviate least. It's clear? Now fourth dependence of angle of deviation over the angle of incidence is very, very important. And what is the fourth dependence? Dependence of angle of deviation. Deviation on angle of incidence. You can see here. On angle of incidence. More the, what is the dependence? More the angle of, with increasing angle of incidence, angle of deviation first decreases and then increases. With increasing angle of incidence, angle of deviation firstly decreases and then increases. You can see here, as the angle of incidence is increasing, what will happen to the angle of deviation? First it will decrease and then it will increase. You can see here. Here I am writing some typical values of I and N. This is 30 degree, 40 degree, 50 degree, 60 degree, 70 degree. These are the values of angle of incidence, means this angle, I1. Once it is 30 degree, then 40 degree, then 50 degree, then 60 degree, then 70 degree. Then we will perform this experiment and measure this angle. So here values is something like this: 52 degree, 48 degree, 44 degree, 39 degree, and it is 45 degree. So you can see here, angle of incidence is continuously increasing. Angle of incidence is this angle I1. Angle of deviation firstly decreases up to the 39 degree and then increases. It's clear. If we draw a graph of del versus I, just dependence is very important. It's clear. With increasing angle of incidence, angle of deviation firstly decreases and then increases. So here in this side we will plot del. This is del versus I graph. Del means DEL. It is a Greek letter. So if you plot the graph, so graph will be of this nature. Here it will be something like this nature. Now you can see here. Here this, what is the minimum angle of deviation? Minimum angle of deviation is this. This is the minimum angle of deviation. It is corresponding to a unique angle that we have named as I minimum. I minimum does not mean that the minimum value of I. I minimum means that angle of incidence when that angle of incidence which is corresponding to the minimum deviation angle. Which is corresponding to the minimum deviation angle. So that is I minimum. This I minimum is a unique angle. Means spring producing minimum deviation for a unique angle of incidence. Unique means one and only one. Spring producing minimum deviation for a unique angle of incidence. It's clear. But if the angle of incidence is other than this value, greater than this or more than this, what will be the angle of deviation? It will be more than del minimum. It will be more than del minimum. You can see in the graph. Suppose when angle of incidence has this value, which is smaller than I minimum. It's clear. I minimum is angle of incidence corresponding to the minimum deviation. So when angle of incidence is I1, which is smaller than I minimum, what is the angle of deviation? Angle of deviation is this. This you can name del 1. Means del 1 is greater than del minimum. It's clear. Similarly, if you take another value, it's clear. Here, purposely I have taken this. This value of angle of incidence I2. This value of angle of incidence I2, which is greater than I minimum, because I minimum is this one. This one is I minimum. Greater than I minimum, I2 is greater than I minimum. What is the angle of deviation? It is del 1, which is greater than del minimum. Means spring producing minimum deviation for a unique angle of incidence. It's clear. For all other angle of incidence, the angle of deviation will be more than del minimum. Then there is one more thing. Here you can notice that spring is producing same deviation for two different angle of incidence. Spring is producing this much deviation, del 1, for two different angle of incidence. It's clear. Means spring may produce same amount of deviation which is not minimum for two different angle of incidence. But it can produce minimum deviation only for a unique angle of incidence, that is for one and only one angle of incidence. It's clear. Now there is one more thing. At minimum deviation position of spring. At minimum deviation position of spring. That is when del is equals to del minimum. We will write del M. Then I1 will be equal to I2. These two angles will be equal. I1 will be equal to I2. This we can take equals to I. And R1 will be equal to R2. This we can take as R. We have assumed that this is R. So if you substitute these values here, when you will substitute these values here, what will you get? Del, first you see this, angle A equals to R plus R, that is equals to 2R. So what is R? Angle A by 2. Angle A by 2. Then what is from here? Del minimum, that is del M equals to, so the one relation is this. Del minimum, this is I plus I minus R plus R. It's clear? So it is 2I minus 2R. 2R you can write as A. So 2I plus A. It's clear? Means del minimum equals to 2I plus A. Now from here if you, so this is one relation. This is also one relation. It's clear? Now if you find the value of I from there, if we find the value of I, so what will be 2I? Del minimum minus A. So I equals to del minimum minus, no, this is not correct. Here I have not written correctly. Perhaps this is 2I equals to del minimum minus A. This is not plus minus. Here it is minus. It is minus, this is minus. So this is minus. So when you will bring in this side, del minimum plus A equals to 2I. So what is I? Del minimum plus A upon 2. Now what is the refractive index of the fringe? So Ri of fringe, you can see here, it will be equal to sin I1 upon sin R1. Sin I1 upon sin R1. Just now you have taken I1 as I and R1 as R. So it will be equals to sin I upon sin R. Now you substitute these values. So sin del M plus A upon 2 divided by R as A by 2. Sin A by 2. So this is the formula of refractive index of prism. It's clear? Now one more thing you can see here. If this prism is equilateral, if this is equilateral, then refracted ray will be parallel to the base of the prism. If the prism is equilateral or both the refracting surfaces are of same size, then refracted ray will be parallel to the base of the prism. So this is all about in this lecture. The PDF of this book will be uploaded in the, of this chapter will be uploaded in the description box. You can get the link from there. Thanks.